Hi there, Katie from Pilates Physio Cork here. So I'm going to do our Fundamentals Pilates class, the exercises that we would have been doing if we were able to get together in the studio. I know it's perhaps not as good or as easy to do it at home, but let's do what we can while we're in this situation. And I apologise in advance for any sounds of kids screaming in the background, but I guess that's the reality of life for all of us right now. So I hope you can still hear me over any noise that might be going on, and hope you enjoy this class. So just remember, as always in the studio, make sure that throughout all of the exercises you are symptom-free and able to breathe. And if that's not the case for you with any of them, then you need to modify it in some way. So don't do as many reps, or make it slightly easier, go to an easier level, try and change your position slightly, and I'll give you some ideas of how to do that as we're going on. But if you're still not able to be symptom-free with those different changes, then move on to the next exercise and just skip that one. So just making sure that's the case throughout, as always. So hope you enjoy and keep moving and keep sane, and keep getting stronger. You can also start this class with Jo's warm-up video, which is on the Pilates Physio Corp YouTube channel, and finish the class with Jo's warm down. So she's done a sequence of both the warm-up and cool down that's suitable for all of the Pilates classes. So if you top and tail this kind of block of Fundamentals Pilates exercises with the warm-up and cool down to complete your workout. So let's get going. So we're going to start in 4-point kneeling. If you have a mat or a soft surface, then you can use that. I'm just putting it under my knees and not on my feet, because my feet are a bit too sticky then if they're on the mat. So just find what works for you in the space that you have. You could always put a cushion under your knees if you have a thin one, if you don't have any mat or soft surface that works. So it doesn't really matter if it's not special for exercising. Just find something so that you can exercise comfortably. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath your hips, and we'll just start by finding that neutral position in 4-point kneeling. So let's shrug the shoulders up to the ears, slide them down to the waist. Do that a couple of times just to get the feeling for how they are moving. And then we want to finish with them sliding down towards the waist, so there's nice space between your ears and your shoulders. Then think about pushing the floor away from you so your breastbone is lifting up and you feel nice and strong across the top of your back. We want length through the back of the neck, so think of holding your peach between your chin and your chest. And now, keeping all of that in place, we're going to tilt pelvis forward and back and find that neutral pelvis position. So you've got a nice, strong, flat back, just counterbalancing gravity that might drag you down like this. And we want to try and keep this neutral position. So we're going to do a sequence of exercises called swimming that you will know already from the class. And your aim is to just keep your trunk completely neutral. So imagine you've got a tray of drinks balanced on your back and you don't want to let them spill. So we're going to breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, we're going to slide one leg away and then come back to your start position. And then we're going to alternate, do the other side. So breathe out as you slide your leg away, and breathe in as you come back to the start. We're going to go for 8 repetitions each side. So that would be 16 leg slides out, alternating right to left. And just keep thinking of that tray of drinks that's balanced on your back. So as you slide your leg out, you don't want to transfer over onto the supporting leg. That would make all your drinks spill. Instead, everything stays just the same, and you'll really feel your core muscles and your upper body having to take a lot more load as you slide your leg out. And that's what we're aiming for. We want those muscles to work harder so that they get stronger. So as long as you're symptom-free and able to breathe, if you feel like, oh, this is hard work, that's okay. Of course, if it feels too hard, then you don't need to do as many repetitions. Stop if you feel like you're fatigued and that's enough. Just trying to keep that tray of drinks completely still and keep breathing all the time. I slightly lost count as I'm talking as well. I think we need one more on each side. And breathe out as you slide away, and breathe in as you come back. Great, well done. So now we're going to do the same idea, but this time with the arms. So you still got your tray of drinks, shoulders are still down, push the floor away, pelvis in neutral, neck nice and long. Breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, float your arm up and back down. And then the same thing on the other side. Breathe out as you float up, breathe in as you come back. So alternating right and left, and thinking of that tray of drinks, I still want to keep it still. So I really don't want to cheat by transferring my weight over like this. So as I float my arm up, I'm just going to take extra load through the core muscles. And you don't have to do that intentionally. If you just think of keeping everything else still, it's just the arm that's moving, then your core muscles will take that load. They will work harder. Keep breathing and keep neutral. That's all you have to think about. And you don't have to bring your arm all the way up as high as it will go. That might start to make you lose that neutral position. So if this is as far as you feel you can go without starting to arch your back, that's just fine. So just within the range you feel like, yeah, I can control that still. Because when we keep the body in neutral, then the core muscles are going to be working to keep that position. That's how we're strengthening them here. And one more. Great. And now we're going to put those two exercises together. So take a breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, you're going to float your right arm and slide your left leg, and then come back to the start. And then the opposite side, left arm and right leg, and back to the start. And just alternating side to side. Keep breathing. And just keep trying to feel that you're pushing the floor away from you. Those shoulder blades are sliding down. If you're starting to feel any strain in the head, neck and shoulders, just checking those kind of neutral posture setups from the start. So shoulders down, push the floor away, holding your peach. And you may find, oh yeah, now my neck feels a bit easier. And you don't feel that strain. If it still feels like it's strained when you've done that, then just take a rest and stretch things out and maybe come back to it for a few more reps in a minute. And last one. Lovely. So we're just going to give the wrists a little rest. You could come down into a prayer stretch here, circle the wrists around. If you're feeling any strain in your neck, maybe just turn your head side to side. You might want to roll the shoulders around. Wherever you're feeling the strain, just move that a little bit. Give it a rest. And when you're ready, we're going to come back into 4-point kneeling for our leg pull prep in prone. So we still want that same 4-point kneeling setup. Push the floor away, slide the shoulders down, pelvis into neutral, holding your peach. And this time we're tucking the toes underneath as well. So we're going to take a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, we're going to float the knees off the floor. And then breathe in, lower back down again. So breathe out as you float the legs up. And breathe in as you come back down. So breathe out as you float the legs up. Breathe in as you come back down. Now, if you're finding that feels like quite a lot of work, you might want to bring your pelvic floor in intentionally if that's appropriate for you. If you don't have an overactive pelvic floor, and if you haven't been told not to do pelvic floor strengthening specifically. So if that is appropriate for you, then take a breath in to prepare, and as you breathe out, tighten around the back passage, draw up inside, and then float the knees off the floor, and just see, does that feel a little bit stronger now? And then float back down. So breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you engage through the back passage, draw up inside and float the knees up, and then lower back down. So carry on with that. If you're feeling like this is quite easy, you can progress it by holding the hover. So as you breathe in to prepare, you're going to breathe out to hover the knees, and then hold it as you breathe in and out, and then lower back down. So you're just increasing the time that we're holding it there for. So breathe in, breathe out, and lower back down. Breathe in to prepare, breathe out to hover, Breathe in, breathe out. You could add another breath in and out, as long as you're symptom-free and able to breathe. So just remember, modify it for yourself. Don't try and push into a level that's too hard, that's giving you any symptoms, or where you're finding, oh, I'm starting to hold my breath now. As long as you're symptom-free and able to breathe, then you know you can push it. Well done. Let's give our wrists another little rest, rolling them around. If you're finding that the wrist is starting to get a bit of a strain and you haven't done as many reps as you want for the rest of you, you could try coming up onto your fists and see if that feels like an easier position for you. The other thing you can do is just gripping the floor with your fingertips, and that will activate the wrist extensor muscles, which can often feel a little bit easier. So we're going to come back one more exercise in this position. Find your neutral position to start with again. Shoulders down, push the floor away, pelvis into neutral, holding your peach. And we're going to do our fire hydrants. So you're going to think of the knee coming out to the side and then back to the start. Again, I'm only going as far as I can without twisting everything. So it's not necessarily a very big movement. So breathe out as you lift the knee out and in. We're just going to do 8 on each side. Think of that tray of drinks balanced on your lower back. So you're still trying to keep that still. Now, if this feels easy enough, you can add in an opposite arm hover and back, like we did with our swimming. But if you feel like, do you know what, my upper body's done enough now, I'm feeling it, then just keep your hand there and just work on the leg. That's fine too. Now we go to the other side. So keeping that tray of drinks still. Keep on checking in. I can feel my shoulders starting to hunch as I'm tiring. So keep on checking, shoulders down, push the floor away, because that will help you not to feel the strain in your neck. And remember, if you want, you can add in the arm, as long as that doesn't lead to any breath holding. 3 more, I think. And 1 more, nearly there. Lovely, well done. So now we need to work out that upper back and the wrists. So we're going to try and thread the needle. If you stretch your hand up towards the ceiling, really reach and look at your hand, and then slide this arm between your arm and your body. Let your head, your shoulder, and your arm all rest on the floor. Take a breath in, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So hand up to the ceiling, and then slide between your arm and your body. Head, shoulder, and arm all rest. Take a breath in, and alternate sides. So we really want to feel that lovely rotation in your upper back around here as you slide your arm between your other hand and your body. Take a breath in there just to enjoy the stretch. And alternate from side to side. Now if you want to feel a little bit more rotation, you can use this palm on the floor and just gently push away into a little bit more upper back rotation. But if you're already feeling like this is quite a big stretch and you're finding yourself quite stiff in that, you might not need to add that on. So just do what feels good to you. Now for our last one, we're just going to hold the position. So one more time, we're reaching up, sliding through, and then I just want you to take a breath in, relax into it as you breathe out. Take a few breath cycles in that position. Remember, you can push through the palm on the floor if that feels good. And just breathe, nice deep breaths, expanding all the way around the chest and relaxing into the stretch. Great job. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Sliding through. Oh, this is a lovely one. If you're feeling a lot of tension, a lot of stress, like I think we all are, getting some upper back stretches will really, really help. It's where lots of us carry a lot of tension. And exercise in general is so important for managing stress, but I really find these upper back stretches really important for just maintaining sanity as well as physical health. Well done. So that's our 4-point kneeling. We're going to move now into prone, so lying on your tummy. So lying on your tummy, you might find it helpful to have a little bit of a pillow, or it could even be a folded up towel that you're just going to rest your forehead on so that you don't feel like your nose is getting squished on the floor. And how thick that should be will really depend. So just play around with it so that you feel comfortable. You want to feel like your neck is able to be in a neutral position, that you're not forced up this way and you're not really low down as well. So just a little bit of support to help you be in neutral and comfortable is what you're looking for. So we're going to start with the arms, shoulder width apart over the head, and just start by relaxing into the floor. I want you just to let everything go. Try and relax through the head, neck and shoulders. Relax around the chest and the hips, and relax through the legs, relax the bum muscles, and just breathe and notice you're breathing in this position. So as you're taking a breath in, just notice what's moving, and it will feel different from when we're in other positions because of your tummy and your chest kind of being squished a little on the floor. So just get used to that feeling and checking that you're fully expanding the whole way around your rib cage. And now with that nice relaxed breath, we're just going to lengthen the back of the neck, thinking about holding your peach between your chin and your chest. Think of sliding the shoulders down towards your waist, so there's space between your shoulders and your ears. Think of softening your ribs down towards your waist, and then tilting the pelvis forward and back. Find that neutral position. Now, often we end up using our bum muscles to do that, and that's going to make it a little bit harder to do some of the exercises. So I want you just to try keep the bum muscles relaxed and get that pelvic tilting without using your bum muscles. Keep them relaxed and just get that movement flowing without using the bum muscles. If you're finding that hard to achieve, then you could visualize someone's got an elastic pulling from your pubic bone up towards your tummy button and then release. Someone's got an elastic they're pulling from your pubic bone up to your tummy button. You might feel your lower tummy muscles now. That's what's giving you that movement, and then release. And the bum muscles can stay nice and relaxed. So as you pull that elastic from your pubic bone up to the tummy button, you can feel the tailbone lengthening away towards the toes. And that's the position you want to just hold there gently. So we're going to do our swimming like we did in 4-point kneeling, but lying on our tummies now. We're going to start with just the legs. So keeping that relaxed breathing, keeping that neutral position through the pelvis, shoulders into the back pockets. We're now going to squeeze the bum muscles together gently. And then as you breathe out, lengthen the right leg away just to hover, and then relax down. Keeping the bum muscles engaged, lengthen the left leg away, and relax down. Lengthen the right leg, and relax. And what you're trying to avoid is letting your tummy press onto the floor, your back arch as your leg comes up. So I can see I'm doing this wrong here. So just try and keep that length through the tailbone. Keep the bum muscles gently engaged. And you're just going to hover the leg very little bit off the floor, just within the range that you can do without letting that lower back start to arch. So if it's helpful, you can think of that cue of the tray of drinks or a tray of marbles balanced on your lower back as you're doing this, and you don't want to let them spill. So this area here, we're trying to keep it really still. I'm trying to avoid this happening. I'm trying to avoid the tummy sticking down into the floor through the hips, and just keeping that pelvis in neutral. And to achieve that, you might feel those lower tummy muscles are having to work quite a bit. We don't have to lift the leg very high. We're just trying to get those bum muscles working to do it. Great. And now we're going to do the same thing with the arms. So just check those shoulders are down in the back pockets and ribs are soft, tailbone lengthened away, bum muscles relaxed. Breathe in to prepare. And we're going to hover the right arm off the floor and lower. So breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you hover your arm up and lower back down. And we're just alternating side to side. Now where I want you to feel this is around the back of the shoulders. If you're really feeling it up here, then you might find it easier to bend the elbows a little bit and work from that position. So you're just hovering the arm up and down. Hovering the arm up and down. So we want to really feel that it's around here. There's no strain up here, ideally. So whichever position you're able to achieve that in is fine. And you're just hovering the arm off the floor and lowering it. And still think of that tray of drinks. Maybe you think of the drinks up here now. So we're trying to avoid rocking from side to side as you lift and lower. Keep breathing. Keep the bum muscles relaxed. And keep the tailbone lengthening away so that you're not feeling like your tummy is pressing into the floor or your ribs are pressing into the floor. One more time. Great. And now we're going to put those two things together. So just check. Shoulders are down, ribs are soft, pelvis into neutral, bum relaxed to start to achieve that. And now we're going to squeeze the bum muscles gently together. Hover the right arm, lengthen the left leg away and lower down. And then hover the left arm, lengthen the right leg away and lower. So alternating side to side. And the tendency to kind of rock is quite big here. So just try and think of that tray of drinks balanced on your back. And we're just trying to avoid that tray moving at all. So no spillages as we alternate right to left. And you'll really feel these muscles around your shoulder blades working. As I said, if it's starting to feel up here, then bend the elbows down. So you're working a shorter lever. And by doing that, it's like you're lowering your weight, reducing the amount that you're lifting. Keeping breathing the whole time. Last one. Lovely. And rest. Well done. So now we're going to go into a cobra. If you bring your hands down either side of your shoulders, you're still resting your forehead either on the floor or on your cushion or your blanket, whatever's working. And we just start by finding that neutral position again, keeping the bum relaxed, shoulders in the back pockets, ribs soft, tailbone lengthened away. And we're going to use our arms to push up from here, just working through the spine, getting a stretch in the abdominals, and then lowering back down again. Now you want to be careful, if you have any lower back pain, just go up as far as you can without any symptoms. So as always, this should be symptom-free. And to try and protect against any lower back symptoms, just make sure that tailbone is lengthened away. Because if it's not, this is what you're going to feel. Can you see how I'm really kind of sinking into my lower back there? And that's a little uncomfortable, especially as you come up higher. So to avoid that, lengthen the tailbone away and then push through the arms. I'm not using my back to come up. It's my arms doing the work. And it's just less of a kind of hinge there in my lower back when the tailbone is lengthened. And then lower through the arms, coming back down again. You don't have to go the whole way up. So if this is as far as you feel comfortable, that's fine. And then come back down again. So think shoulder blades down in the back pockets. Push through the arms just as far as you feel comfortable. And then lower back down again. Keeping that tailbone lengthened away the whole time. Keeping breathing. And remember, it can be very small. This might be all that you want to do. That's fine. Just keeping that tailbone lengthened away still. And the other thing that can help if you are getting any back pain is just make sure your back is relaxed. And it really is the arms that's doing the work here. So if you're lifting with your back, you might feel it's a bit uncomfortable. But if you then switch to using your arms to push, because this is really a mobility exercise here, then you might find, oh, actually, that's a lot more comfortable now. I've got more range of movement. Let's do one more time. And lower back down. Lovely. So we're going to come into a breaststroke prep. So for that, we want our arms either side of the body. And just find that neutral again. Let everything relax. Find the relaxed breath. And I'm turning my head so you can hear me better, but you're going to keep your face down to the floor. Lengthen the tailbone away, keeping the bum muscles relaxed. Think of the shoulder blades sliding down towards the back pockets, between the chin and the chest. So for this exercise, you're going to start actually with the shoulders relaxed, And the first part of the exercise is that sliding the shoulders down, reaching the fingers towards the toes, and hover the arms off the floor with the palms facing the body. And then lower back down again. So again, slide the shoulders down towards the waist, stretch the fingers to the toes, hover the arms off the floor, palms facing the body, and lower back down again. So just as it was in the swimming exercise, it's around the back of the shoulder blades where you want to be feeling the work coming from. So there shouldn't be any strain up here. And you want to feel like those shoulder blade muscles, yeah, I can feel them working. So sliding the shoulders down, reach the fingers to the toes, drawing the shoulder blades to the opposite back pockets, hover the arms, and lower back down. Just be careful that you're not overdoing it, so you don't want to really pinch the shoulder blades together like this. You're just coming into a neutral, relaxed position. So drawing them back, and just double check as you're working these shoulders, keeping the pelvis in neutral, so bum relaxed, tailbone is lengthened away towards the toes, because that's going to make it a lot easier on the lower back. And if for any of these exercises on your tummy you're getting any pain in the back, then you can just try popping a pillow underneath your hips like this. It can be a few pillows if you need some more, and see does that feel any better. So if you're getting discomfort here, check the tailbone's lengthened away, and if that's not helping, then put a pillow underneath your hips, and that's just going to ease out that lumbar position. Okay, so we're going to progress that exercise now. If you need the pillow under your hips, keep it there. But to progress this exercise, we're going to add in hovering from the breastbone. So same thing to start, tailbone lengthened away, bum muscles relaxed. Slide the shoulders down to the waist, stretch the fingers to the toes, hover from the breastbone, and lower back down. Really key with this exercise is that you visualize keeping this peach between your chin and your chest. So as I lift up from the breastbone, I'm still holding my peach. I don't want to lift from the head and drop my peach like this. So I'll just show you that again. This would be the wrong way. I don't want you to lift your head up. Can you imagine I'm dropping my peach here? Instead of that, I'm going to keep holding my peach the whole time. Lift from the breastbone. And my head and neck just lift with me because they're attached. But I'm still holding that peach. And the reason that I want you to work it that way is because you're going to be working the core stability muscles in your neck and getting them stronger. Lovely. One more time. Great. Well done. Now, if you're starting to feel like, yeah, I've done a lot of work in the upper back, you might want to come into a prayer stretch at this point. So just sitting back on your heels, stretch the arms out in front. You can have the knees wide as the mat, or just together, hip distance apart, whatever feels better for you. Let the bum sink onto the heels. Stretch the arms out and think of the breastbone sinking down towards the floor. And just take a few breaths in that position. And if you feel like the neck is strained, you could just roll the forehead from side to side, easing out the neck. Good. You can wiggle the hips from side to side if you feel like, yeah, that's where I want to move. Just whatever feels good. Stretch what you feel like needs stretching. Great, and then we're going to come back down onto our tummies for one last exercise here. We don't need that pillow now. We're just going to fold the hands underneath the forehead. So we're going to do our one leg kick series here. So the key with this exercise is thinking about this lower back and the position there. So if you can see, at the moment my tummy is pressed right into the mat. There's a bit of a curve, like a hill, a dip. No, not a hill, a valley, in this lower back curve here. And as I keep the bum muscles relaxed, lengthen the tailbone away. Can you see that valley flattens out? And you may not be able to see it, but there's not as much pressure between my tummy and the floor. I'm not sinking into the floor anymore. Lengthening that tailbone away, and there's a little feeling of lift of the very lower tummy and the hip bones off the floor. So my aim is to keep that position as we're doing this exercise. And the tendency will be, we're going to pulse the foot to the bum. The tendency will be, as you pulse, for that tummy to sink into the floor and that kind of valley to appear in the lower back. And we want the core muscles to keep that flatter lower back position as we're pulsing, and that's how we're going to be strengthening the core muscles. So that's your aim. Your head is resting on your hands, shoulders are sliding down into the back pockets, ribs are soft, relax the bum, tilt pelvis forward and back, and find that position, lengthening the tailbone away. And then we're going to gently squeeze the bum muscles together, and we're going to kick the heel to the bum 3 times. Point, flex, point, and lengthen. And then the other leg. Point, flex, point, and lengthen. So alternating sides. Point, flex, point, and lengthen. Think of that tray of drinks balanced on the lower back. There will be some movement in this direction. That's okay. You just don't want that kind of bounce into the lower back to happen that I was just demonstrating there. So keeping that lower back nice and still, thinking of the tailbone lengthening away, and you may feel, oh yeah, my lower tummy muscles are having to work here to give me that stability. So just make sure you're breathing the whole time. Check, can I relax my head and neck and shoulders anymore? Try not to hold any tension up here. Shoulder blades sliding down into the back pockets. One more time on each side. Great. So now we're going to progress that onto level 2. If when we progress it that doesn't feel okay for you, then carry on with what we were just doing there. So to progress, we're going to keep the shoulders down and tailbone lengthened away. Gently squeeze the buttocks together. And we're going to start the same. Point, flex, point. Now as we lengthen, you're going to slightly hover the thigh off the floor and then lower down. So point, flex, point, lengthen and hover, and lower. Point, flex, point, lengthen and hover, and down. Point, flex, point, lengthen and hover, and down. And just notice there'll be a tendency for your hips to sort of lean into the side that you're lengthening, the supporting side rather. And you want to try and keep that the same. So think of the weight through the hip bones at the front. That should stay even the whole time. So just see, can you maintain that? Keep breathing. And one more time each side. Sorry, one more time each side now, because that was our second side. Lengthen and hover. And last one. Lovely. Okay. So now we're going to come up into a cat stretch just to stretch out after that. So from 4-point kneeling, I'm going to tuck the tailbone underneath, push the floor away, drop the chin to the chest, and take a breath in that position. And then extend the tailbone away, slide the shoulders down, look up towards the ceiling, just within a range that feels okay for you. Take a breath in, and again, tuck the tailbone underneath, push the floor away, drop the chin to the chest, take a breath in, and go the other way, lengthen the tailbone away, slide the shoulders down, look up towards the ceiling, breath in, and tuck the tailbone underneath. Last time, push the floor away, drop the chin, really feel like somebody is pulling your ribs up towards the ceiling and dropping the tailbone down as low as you can. Lovely. Great, well done. So we're now going to turn onto our backs into crook lying. Start with your feet hip distance apart and your knees in line with your hips. And just think about relaxing into the position like we did when we were lying on our tummies. Find that relaxed breath again. Try to relax any tension in the head, neck and shoulders. Relax the abdominals. Relax the pelvic floor. And then we'll start to set up our neutral. So lengthen through the back of the neck, just holding your peach gently. shoulder blades down into the back pockets, ribs are soft, and then tilting the pelvis forward and back to find that neutral position. So the back is not flat into the floor, it's not arched away, it's just gently in the middle. And we're going to try and keep that position as we do our exercises now. So we're going to start with an abdo prep, as long as you don't have any bone health issues. If you do, then I'll show you an alternative in a minute. Or if you just don't like the abdo prep or you're feeling any strain in your neck, you can do the variation we'll do in a second. So it's going to be double tabletop instead. So if you're happy with the abdo prep, have your hands behind your head and just start by thinking of the ribs soft, melting down towards the waist. You're going to breathe in to prepare, and as you breathe out, think of sliding the shoulder blades down towards the waist. Keep sliding them down towards the hips, so it's lifting your chest from the floor, and you can see you're trying to get your shoulder blades up off the mat, and then lower back down again. So think shoulder blades sliding down towards the waist, towards the hips, up off the mat, trying to keep your head relaxed into your hands, so you can let the hands take the weight of your head. So sliding the shoulders down, letting your head rest, and back down. So what you don't want to do is just bending the head like this, or you might even feel like your shoulders are coming a bit, but most of the movement is squishing that peach, because that's just going to feel like a strain on your neck and it won't really do an awful lot for your abdominals. So instead, really focus on getting those shoulder blades down, keeping the peach intact, so don't squish it. Let your head rest into your hands, shoulder blades sliding down and back down. So really thinking of the movement from the shoulders, so that you're really trying to lift away from the floor. And then you'll really feel that's working the abdominals a lot more than just a head movement. And it should feel less strain on the neck as well. So if you're happy with the abdo prep, you can continue with that. And if you were doing a variation, then we're going to do a double tabletop or a single tabletop if double tabletop's not right. So we'll start with a single tabletop because that comes first. So take a breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, you're going to lift the heel, float the leg up into single tabletop, and then you're going to lower it back down. And then the same thing, you're going to lift the other heel, float the leg up into single tabletop, and then lower it back down. And you're aiming to do that without the back position changing. So keeping that neutral position, keeping this tray of marbles balanced on your tummy nice and still. Now, if that feels easy enough, then you can try progressing. So for double tabletop, we're going to breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you float your leg up, and then breathe in to prepare, and breathe out as you float the second leg up. And then you're going to float the first leg down, and then you're going to float the second leg down. And then we're going to swap and do the other side. So breathe out as you float your leg up, breathe in to prepare, breathe out as you float the second leg up. And remember what you want to watch out for when you're doing double tabletop. As always, it should be symptom-free and you're able to breathe. And the other little things to watch out for is that as you lift that second leg, you don't feel like you're kind of going to get that leg up. So that's bracing. You also don't want to see you doming in your tummy muscles. If it feels like they're starting to bulge up as you lift that second leg up, then you might just it might just be a bit too hard for you at the moment. And you could do an in-between between your single tabletop and your double by just lifting that second heel, but not going all the way off the floor. So just lifting that second heel, lower back down, and then lower your single tabletop, and then do the same thing on the other side. So single tabletop, lift that heel, lower back down. So whichever version is right for you. Great. So if you're doing your abdo prep, then you will need a rest by now. So stretching out whichever version you're doing, arms up over the head, legs are long. Make yourself as long as you can. Take a breath in, and then relax onto the floor. And just relax those abdominals from whatever you were doing. And we're going to come back into our crook lying position. We're going to do a one leg stretch. So we're going to start off with level 2, and then if that's feeling okay, you can progress to level 3. So find your neutral position to start with. Relax through the head, neck and shoulders. You're going to take a breath in to prepare, Breathe out as you lift your right heel and float your leg up into single tabletop. And we're going to do 8 repetitions on this leg. So as you breathe out, you're stretching the leg away. Can you see now my thighs are side by side? And then breathe in to come back to your start position. And as you're stretching the leg away and coming back, your aim is that you're keeping this pelvis completely neutral. So you don't want to feel like your back arches and flattens. So you're just keeping that completely still. And maybe check in as well that image of a tray of marbles balanced on your tummy. And you don't want to feel like they're rolling around from side to side as you stretch the leg out. So just keeping that neutral trunk and breathing. Great, and then we're going to lower that leg down. We're going to do 8 on the other side. So check your neutral, relax through the head, neck and shoulders. Breathe in to prepare, and then as you breathe out, lift the heel, float the leg up. We're going to breathe out as you stretch the leg away. Breathe in to come back to the start. Breathe out and breathe in. I'm just trying to keep everything nice and still. Breathing out and breathe in. So tray of marbles still. Lower back and the floor are staying in the same relationship. And just keep checking. I can feel my head, neck and shoulders are tensing up. So just keep checking in with them that you're not tensing, that you're still getting that nice relaxed quality of breath. Lovely. And then lower back down. So I'm going to show you progression working from double tabletop with that exercise. If you've already discovered, or you do discover double tabletop's not right for you at the moment, it just feels like there's too much strain, or you have any symptoms or any bracing or doming, then you need to make sure, or breath holding is the other thing to watch out for. So if any of those things are happening with double tabletop, just carry on at the level we just did from single tabletop. You can do another set of that. So if you're working from double tabletop, we're going to come up single tabletop, and then lift the second leg. And it's the same thing from here. So stretching the leg out and back together. So 8 repetitions, relaxing the head, neck and shoulders. Keeping breathing the whole time. And you might find you're okay for 2 or 3 repetitions in double tabletop, and then you start to feel symptoms or breath holding because you've fatigued, and that's okay. That means that's your endurance right now. Come back down at that point, that way, to single tabletop and carry on the rest of the set there. So just listen to your body and work at the level that you're at today. That's all we can do, and we will get stronger as you keep going. So now, whichever version you're doing, we'll swap to the other leg, whether you're in single tabletop or double tabletop. Or if you've had enough and you're tired, you can always just take a rest and stretch it out. So be kind to yourself. Remember, we're all coping with a lot of strangeness right now. Just keeping moving, however that is going to make a lot of difference. And 2 more. And last one. Great, so let's just hug the knees up into the chest. And we just rock the knees from side to side. Lovely, so we've got one more exercise in this position here. So find your neutral position again. And we're going to come into single tabletop. Now, if you've got the hamstring length to extend your foot to the ceiling, then you can work from there. If you don't, then keep your leg in single tabletop. So either way, we're going to do circles with this leg. Your aim is to imagine a tray of marbles balanced on your hips. You don't want to let them roll anywhere. So whether it's with a straight leg or a bent leg, imagine that your thigh bone is a great big spoon and you're stirring this ball here. Your hip joint is like a ball, and we're stirring clockwise 8 times. Actually, I think I'm going anti-clockwise here. One direction and then switch to the other direction. Great, so keeping breathing. Relax through the head, neck and shoulders. So if your leg is straight, then it's going to look like this. And whichever version you're doing, you're aiming to not let the whole pelvis structure rotate with you. So you're trying to keep this completely still. And it doesn't matter if your circles have to be very small to achieve that, that's fine, but you're going to feel those lower tummy muscles are having to stabilize you there. And I'm going to lower that leg down. We do the same thing on the other side. So either with a bent knee or with a straight leg. So 8 times clockwise and 8 times anti-clockwise. And just keep checking in with the head, neck and shoulders. I keep having to remind myself to relax, so you may have to as well. And just keeping breathing the whole way through. So we're going to feel a lot of work going on here, nothing going on up here. And then we change direction. And the other thing to watch out for, I can see I'm doing it here, is don't let that supporting knee circle with you. So this should be staying nice and still. What you might find is it wants to go opposite to the leg that's supposed to be moving, because that would provide you a little bit of counterbalance and make things easier. So try to keep that still. Let's bend the knee and come back down. Really great. Okay, so just to stretch out to finish, we bring the arms to the side, feet and knees together, and we're going to let the knees roll to the side, so the lower back, middle back, upper back's peeling off the floor. Turn your head away from your knees. Try to keep both shoulders on the floor and the knees together. And you're just trying to get the knees as close to the floor as you can without the shoulder coming up and without the knees separating. And just take a breath there. If you have any bone health issues, then a spine twist would be better than this exercise. So then upper back, middle back, lower back, and go the other way. Great. And finish. Well done. Great work, everybody.